My name is Theron Holladay, and recently I've heard much conversation dealing with the upcoming school bond election in Jim Ned. I've heard arguments and discussions from both sides, so I decided to research diligently for myself. And on doing that, several very completely verifiable facts are starting to really disturb me. The tax increase that's being requested is excessive, and if we are just patient, there are ways to accomplish whatever the voters want, new building or renovating, at no to very little tax increase for the residents of our local communities. Let me just start by saying that my wife and I moved to Buffalo Gap because we loved the Buffalo Gap School. It has an exemplary academic standing and wonderful teachers, and we had a wonderful experience there. But I realized that other people live in other locations, and they may prefer a school in a different location, and this is up for the voters to decide. But what really bothers me is after I did a little digging, I learned that there are 3 refinance bonds currently outstanding by Jim Ned. They mature in 2014, 15, and 16. When the original bond was issued to develop the new high school in 1996, it was done so with the promise and on the premise that upon maturity and payoff, that the 7 cents that was taken from taxpayers from a 104 to a 1.11 rate would be returned to taxpayers. And in thinking about that, I realized that if we are just patient and wait 38 months, we can reissue that bond instead of returning that 7 cents to taxpayers and have money that would allow us to completely renovate the existing facilities at no increase to taxpayers. Also, if you consider that we're currently sitting on $10.8 million in reserves, considerably above the state recommended holding of 3 to 6 months of reserves, we could take a portion of that, $5 million, add it with the millions that we'll have from this bond, and then have enough to do more. We could even do just a small bond issue at the time, and if the voters so choose, we could build a new school in Tuscola, build 2 new schools, or renovate what we have at far less of an impact to the community. How much is the impact to community? And this concerns me a lot. From a 1.11 rate that we have currently to the proposed 1.388 rate is a 25% tax increase. But when you consider that if we say no, that 7 cents is going to come back and our rate's going to revert to 104. From 104 to 1.388 is a 33% tax increase. I manage money for insurance companies and buy municipal securities and school bonds. I am unaware of another school system that has requested a 25 or 33% tax increase since the financial recession, and I believe this to be one of the highest requests in the last several decades. I've also purchased bonds from other school systems that were built with far less money than we're currently requesting for this. And so it brings to mind, well, for me, it seems like we're bringing Washington-style spending to our local conservative community. And I believe in being a good steward of the funds that God's entrusted us with. I love our children, and our children come first. This is why I went to Buffalo Gap Elementary, because it has exemplary, outstanding credentials with the government. And one other aspect I want to bring up is that in 2010, the board at that time did a study and said for $3.9 million they could renovate both Buffalo Gap and Lawn. This was combined in a proposal to also build a new high school, so it was voted down because of the tax increase. But now a group called Jim Ned Parents for Progress is saying that it would cost $13.1 million to renovate the existing schools. This is an increase of $9.2 million or 235%. And my thought is, if there's even a chance the 2010 school board was even partially right, don't we owe it to ourselves to research that before blindly voting on something that could be one of the most tremendous hits to taxpayers in a long time? All I'm asking is that you research this, know information before voting. Vote with facts. Don't vote on propaganda being spread by either side. I plan to vote no, and you should vote no or yes, depending upon what your research tells you, after truly considering these points. Thank you.